全国翻译专业资格水平考试辅导丛书，英语口译综合能力教材配套训练2级，由外文出版社有限责任公司出版发行，版权所有，翻录必究。第1单元，听力理解与政务判断。第1课，基本词汇的学习。A 组原文。
1. Some millennials were offended by bogus stereotypes about young parents, like turning to the internet rather than to experts for childcare information, while others defended their cohort's characteristics as a win for children. 2. A leaked UN report recommending that countries decriminalize narcotics for personal use brought the war on drugs into the global spotlight, even though it was later shelved. Countries that have loosened drug restrictions can boast some successes. 3. Intellectual property encompasses all the tangible and intangible products of the human mind. As a general rule, the creator of intellectual property owns it. For instance, if you personally create an e-commerce site, it belongs entirely to you, and you have exclusive rights to use this property in any lawful way you see fit. 4. Digital media differ from books, periodicals, and other media in terms of ease of replication, transmission, and alteration, difficulty in classifying a software work as a program, book, or even music, compactness, making theft easy, and difficulty in establishing uniqueness. 5. Parents are increasingly interested in buying toys that will prepare their kids for careers in science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEM. They're more attuned to what parents think their kids need to know for the future. 6. Of the 8.8 million people who were thrown out of jobs, many have set about cobbling together a living in the so-called gig economy. You can be your own boss by way of Uber, Airbnb, or any sort of solo proprietorship. But when time off equals time unpaid, it's not so easy to be your own benefits manager. 7. A guy who used to work in a steel mill now flipping hamburgers, he knows it's not the same. So it's the quality of jobs as well as the quantity. And one of the problems with the recovery is when the newly created jobs are not nearly as remunerative as were the jobs that were lost. 8. Synchronous activity helps the survival of a group. There's a certain type of happiness that humans can get only by engaging in synchronous activity. For example, many people like the experience of playing in a band or orchestra, singing in a choir, or even attending church. These are all synchronous activities. 9. The guideline for how to dress in a position of authority is to dress at least one notch above the people you're talking to. If it's more important to be seen as one of the group, then dress similarly to those you're talking to. 10. Whether a business leader wears his lucky socks or a person reads his horoscope before leaving the house, superstitions impact our willingness to take risks. Although research shows most people think crossing their fingers increases their luck, in reality, it does nothing to mitigate risk.
B 组原文
1. In lieu of attending the ceremony, Dylan wrote a speech, which was read by the American ambassador to Sweden. In it, he expressed his gratitude to the committee and his admiration for writers who have won the award in the past, including Rudyard Kipling, Albert Camus, and Ernest Hemingway. 2. Down the hallway is a fourth grader who attended this school but is now sleeping on its concrete floors, crammed alongside more than 1,000 people whose homes were damaged or destroyed by Hurricane Matthew. At night, bandits have descended on the school, thrown rocks through the windows, and ripped away the meager supplies of food. 3. Following behind at 6 miles per hour was a white pickup truck carrying men in protective clothing and equipped with a machine intended to cast off a cloud of poison targeting the prey, mosquitoes. The droplets would awaken any insects in the area, cause them to take flight, and then kill them. 4. Both Sanders and Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump have attacked Clinton for her past support of global free trade deals, tapping into a growing sentiment among many voters that such agreements have hurt their communities. 5. A 360-foot-long barge that was set loose by violent weather in the North Sea was secured on Thursday, after the oil companies evacuated hundreds of workers from 2 oil platforms and temporarily halted production. 6. A gunman whom relatives identified as an Arab citizen of Israel opened fire in the center of Tel Aviv on Friday, killing 2 Israeli Jews at a crowded bar and wounding at least 5 others. The suspect was still at large late Friday. 7. Government workers hoisted a solar-powered street lamp. As the first display of electricity in the town, it was an object of mild interest, but, being outside, the light didn't help anyone cook or study and only attracted moths. 8. To be effective, a negotiator must recognize subtle messages being sent across the table. In international interactions, however, it's much harder to interpret unspoken signals. Meyer identifies some helpful rules of thumb, such as adapt the way you express disagreement. 9. With 4 different programs focusing on leading research and innovative problem-solving frameworks, senior executives and up-and-coming leaders alike return to their organizations transformed. 10. Terrorists can be homegrown as well as foreign, qualify for visas, or slip across borders illegally. Imposing restrictions on the basis of nationality is the bluntest of instruments. scooping up legions of ordinary tourists and travelers, as well as the occasional suspect.